Hello, this is Sebastian Egelamper from the company Mind Console, and I'm going to show you slightly more than the two use cases I promised before. So the first use case I want to present you is the activation of a CNC machine. So the major challenge here is that for the training of such activation procedures, the accessibility of such machines is very limited due to either cost issues, because such machines are very costly, or time restrictions, because those machines are used 24/7. So the approach we took is to have an initial training which is assisted by a virtual robot trainer, and that leads to a self-led training approach with robot assistants, which helps the trainees to get their hands on these machines.
Als erstes kontrollieren wir den Ölstand sowie Luftdruck. Jetzt kannst du zum Halte ihn rein und ziehe ihn danach wieder heraus. Nun müssen wir warten, bis die Maschine die grüne AUX-Taste. Jetzt sollten wir die Tür öffnen. Halte bitte die Türtaste gehalten und mache die Tür auf. Ohne der Drehe den Vorschubschalter auf 120%. Damit du hast dein Training abgeschlossen. Gratuliere.
The second use case I want to present to you is the training for subway train conductors. So here the problem is also the train safety procedures should be trained on real trains, real subway trains. The problem just here is that the access to such trains for training is very scarce, because the trains are most of the time in usage and they cannot be used for training. So the solution or the approach we took is that we created virtual twins of the Berlin subway trains, and that we used those virtual twins then for the trainings, which you can see in the following. So the third use case I want to present you here is the identification of electrical malfunctions in a flat. The major challenge here is that apprentice electricians have to learn how to identify a number of different malfunctions in real-world settings. And in real-world settings, identifying this is a safety problem, because there is, of course, voltage and current around, and it would be very harmful if they identify malfunctions not firsthand, but then just send it. So what we did is that we created virtually different malfunctions in a virtual flat that can repeatedly be trained by the trainee in unknown environments and help them to identify the malfunctions. this is Sebastian Eckelamper speaking from the company Mind Console, and I'm presenting you today the paper on our research project. The challenge we wanted to tackle with our research project was in order to understand how procedural training can help health workers. Because health workers and first responders, they have to take decisions under stress and time pressure in very harsh situations. And for such situations, extended reality training is is said to be very helpful because again we can put people into stress situations and they have to follow procedures, they can train procedures, they can make errors. So in order to identify what kind of scenarios are most important to train for first responders and health workers, we conducted a number of user-centered design workshops and training scenarios with multi-stakeholder workshops. So we really wanted to get the input from the people themselves and to understand what they would need for the training. And we also gave them the opportunity to try out our existing extended reality trainings in order to get a better idea what kind of trainings could be done. And the two use cases we identified in those workshops were, the first use case was the preparation of an intubation procedure on an emergency trolley. And the second procedure was a building evacuation procedure they identified as a very important one to train. In the following, I will show you now a video which shows you the preparation of the intubation on an emergency trolley, and you can see our developer Jakub doing the preparation. So in order to check if our extended reality training was effective, we designed an evaluation study with an experimental intervention and control group setting. So we had overall 41 participants, 21 subjects got into the VR intervention group, whereas the control group consisted of 20 participants. The procedure was that each of the two groups got a training time of 8 minutes in order to train the preparation of the intubation. And the intervention group underwent an extended reality training where they could interact with the virtual emergency trolley, and the control group followed a paper-based learning of the procedure for 8 minutes. In the final examination, both of the two groups had to prepare the intubation on a real emergency trolley, and the measures we took were the execution time and the number of errors that appeared in the preparation. On the lower left, you see the results of the execution time. So on the left in turquoise is the median execution time for the extended reality training group. So it took them 75 seconds to prepare the intubation, whereas the median execution time of the control group was 121.5 seconds. So overall, the extended reality intervention group reduced the execution time by 36.5 seconds. So overall, they were 40% quicker than the control group, which is a great result. Thank you for your attention.